Testing.
What is the best compliment you've ever received?
Oh, that is a good one. I would say that I have a nice smile.
You do.
Thank you. No, I don't. Recently, I've been trying to because obviously I'm finishing trying to brand myself, and looking at my work, it was funny the things that were coming, like the connotations that were coming out. I would say probably non-conforming, chaotic, but for the people, yeah, definitely. I would say growing up was very complex, especially for because obviously I'm West Indian. My parents are Jamaican, and obviously I was gay and a creative, so it was a bit. But also it's taught me a lot. Definitely made me this resilient designer and resilient person. I feel like some stuff, especially as a creative, you don't realise until you start going out into industry and start wanting to work. Like, for example, I was really unconfident as a designer. I tried a lot to put myself in a box for what I wanted to design because that's what I was used to, putting myself into boxes and being defined and labelled. Where I'm from, people aren't creatives. Creativity is something that is very minor, and it's something that I would say that people don't believe in, almost. But yeah, so there was almost like a stunt period where I was unsure of myself. But definitely, I would say it was the move to London, where you are surrounded by creatives. You almost learn to take no shit. you take no shit, and you start to believe in yourself. And you once you get to a point where you're like, yo, the shit that I'm designing is fantastic. No one can tell me nothing. Always be open to criticism and stuff like that. But do you know what I mean? You believe in yourself wholeheartedly. Same thing as a person. For a long time, I put myself in a box. I was gay, so for a long time I described myself as I was a masculine lesbian. I was a touch me lot, stuff like that. I was very all this toxic masculinity stuff around that, and it wasn't again until I came to London and was actually exposed to things that I've never seen before, and that's when then but it helped me definitely grow as a person and as a creative. Top 5? I wouldn't say top 5. Do you know what? I can't lie. Going into I think the fashion industry is very controversial. I feel like a lot of fashion people aren't ethical at all. I would say my top 2 designers probably would be Kanye West. Honestly, I think his design and his mind is so different to others, and you can see that from the stuff that he produces. Again, I would say it's not for everyone. I feel like fashion should be accessible for everyone, despite your brand and its connotations. But yeah, I think his stuff is very futuristic. It's not it doesn't follow any trends. I think he sets the trend. Ever since, for example, he dropped Yeezy with Adidas, the amount of shoes that have come to replicate that is incredible. Sean Wotherspoon's another one. He's done a lot with Nike and Adidas as well. He's done a lot with sustainability and looking at how we can take finite materials and actually reuse them to create obviously more shoes, more t-shirts. I'm trying to think of a third one. I love to shop. I love buying clothes, and I have so many brands. I even shop from people that I probably shouldn't shop from. Do you know what I mean? I would have to say the fashion. I'm terrible, but I love Nike. You know, I love Nike. That sounds really cliche, but I think the way the footprint that Nike has left in society. Nike is probably has the most recognition with a logo with no words underneath it. Their brand loyalty is crazy. I like to design things, I only like to design things that have real change for people. But I would say a lot of my process starts straight from research. So I use like a global marketing online thing called LSN Global, and it basically is it's a website that puts all of your trends and upcoming trends like in one place. And then what I'll do is I'll like every other day or so I'll just look through and I'll start to like find like things that interest me. It doesn't even have to be things that are like really popular. It could be something tiny from like a small article that's interested me, and then what I do is I collate them and then I put them all together and I start to find a link like in between the two. And then what I'll do is I will try find a client, a user around this research, and then what I'll do is I'll work alongside them through prototyping, sketching, and through the final materials finish and everything like that. That is a good question, you know. I don't know, I feel like being black, queer, and female, if you want to say that. I would say like the generation above us in design is they're very outdated. Yeah, I would say you face a lot of issues, whether that's based on gender, race, and sexuality. I'm always surrounded by men or people that identify as male. It's very top heavy, and it's almost, I feel like they pressure a lot. For example, started to venture into fashion-based items this year. I had about 5 people tell me that I shouldn't do it because I'm not a fashion designer. I've never designed anything fashion-based, and that I wouldn't get a good grade. And it's just, I feel like people project. I feel like you're taught to learn a discipline and you stick to it, and that's what you do. I try to challenge politics in design. For example, I've designed, I would say 2 projects I would say that I was quite happy with in terms of what they said about society. Was I designed a recordable piece of jewellery, like a sleek piece of jewellery, and that was based on Sarah Everard, I want to say her name was. It really it was something that proper stuck with me, and it was a big issue. So yeah, I provided basically something that, it wasn't just a recordable piece of jewelry, it was something that actually, it was motion triggered. So anything you was pulled, anything like that, it sent off a GPS tracking and stuff like that. It was just a way to make, obviously, women feel safer in their communities, because Arts for Angela is great, but it doesn't work. And I feel like if people obviously were more scared of the repercussions, for example, there'd be a lot more thought around the things that are happening. I did gender neutral packaging, period packaging, for people that identify as non-binary and transgender. I feel like a lot of my products are gender-based. I feel like gender is something that is very still political, even though we don't speak about it a lot, very political. There is a massive market that's missed out, I would say, when it comes to like just shopping in general, like for necessities. So I would hope that my work influences people to, like me, be non-conforming and call things out when you're not receiving what you should receive. Like people should be, if a transgender person, even though periods probably cause gender dysmorphia, like body dysmorphia already, they should have products so they can go in and be discreet about it. And even if they're out and they're on their period, and they need to be discreet about it. Like I'm hoping that my work, or like especially other designers, look at my work and think about the stuff that they're putting out into the world, because it's crazy. Like people design some stuff that I basically wrote my dissertation on technology, and that was one thing that I think really stuck with me, was the fact that these people that were sat designing for, back in the 90s, for like Google, like OneDrive and stuff like that, all sat down and basically said we had no idea that technology would have this impact on society. And it's mad because that impact is now pretty much irreversible. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, definitely make designers conscious about what they're putting out there. And actually design, like I said, designing for purpose. Like if your design has no purpose, it doesn't benefit or improve the quality of life of someone else, then it's pointless. It's just another way to make money, essentially. So, my binder. So, BND, I've decided to call it my brand name's BND. BND started originally from, do you know what, it actually started from me. I actually started this project when I came out as non-binary. It started from body dysmorphia because I wear men's clothes. I wear both. I wear men's and women's. And it started from the experience of being able to go out and shop for the things you need as a non-binary person. So the main thing was firstly tackling gender stereotypes in like the in-person shopping experience, but also tackling accessibility in the UK. I can't speak for every person that binds, but based on my two clients and my two models, access to binders in the UK is mad. Even in like places like the States, they're one, really expensive, two, really bad for your body, and two, yeah, and they're really shit, like not everyone can afford them. So I wanted to basically do like three things at once. I wanted to redesign it, provide better materials, provide something that's comfy, but also make something that was cheap so everyone had that option. Because I know there's people out there that don't buy because they can't afford one, or are waiting on these funding lists, or waiting for a giveaway. Someone should be able to go into H&M and buy a binder. It should, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. It's a piece of underwear. I don't know. I never understood why it was such a taboo thing. So yeah, so I started, the main thing I started with Tameen, who is my model. I basically looked at the silhouette of the binder and the problems with it. Main thing was the back pain and the sweating. Straight away we took out that strap, basically the bit that goes over the chest. So we started off by taking away the straps completely and trying to figure out a way that we could compress the chest whilst providing that same fit and that same functionality. And it was a case of literally producing hundreds of patterns based on the body. So what I did, for example, went from having, for example, no strap. So I've basically done this, so figured out the pattern so there's no straps. It's a Velcro closure at the front, and it's actually made of like a antimicrobial material, so that it's almost got like a breathable system going around at all times. If you want to find my main account, it's callme.zxe. And then my design account is designed by Dixon, and that is with a full stop before the last N. So designed by DIXO.M. Fuck everyone and go and do it. Like, it took years for me to be like, okay, cool. It was that jump to London that really changed my life. Like, I was miserable at Birmingham City Uni, like wasn't making any money or anything, like wasn't really being creative. And my friend said to me, listen, just come to London, like what have you got to lose? And she was right, what did I have to lose? And I left, and literally that was it. You just have to trust and believe in yourself. Like, even if you don't have a strong support system, there will always be something, even if you don't think so, for you to fall back on, and you can't be afraid of failing. Obviously it's hard because everyone's situation is different. Some people don't have. I would say I got quite lucky. Like when I moved, I got a job straight away and stuff like that. Even if you're living in a toxic environment now, and you won't be in 10 years' time, you will sit and you will think about it, like, and you will regret not doing it. But yeah, definitely, just shut your eyes and jump, man. Trust. I remember one time, I was like, I want to catch some tadpoles. And I was like, yeah, like, do you know what I mean? And I don't know what I was thinking. It's a lot. Jesus. It's a lot. Why was you collecting tadpoles? What? Episode? Have you got it down to? Like, of all pets. Tadpoles, man. I promise, I'm not an outdoorsy child no more. It's hard to like keep like, cause I was like, am I gonna repeat myself? No, it's so hard to like. So much content right now. I know, so much content for you to sit and edit. That's.
Yeah, I'm literally spending hours and hours, about 30 seconds worth of things.
Literally.
Stealing editing session. I mean, because you know when you're in it.
That's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Woo woo!
did the damn thing.